You know that dream we all have of the perfect home? The one where everything has its own special place and this feeling of calm just washes over you when you walk in the door. We all want that. We chase that feeling. But what if the way to get there isn't about buying more things to organize our stuff, but about the stuff itself? Let's get into the real difference between creating systems and making choices.
It really starts with this idea, and it's kind of funny when you think about it. We see a problem, a messy desk, a closet that's overflowing, and our first thought is to go buy something to fix it. We really believe that the solution is just one perfectly sized bin away. But that belief, it might be the very thing trapping us in a cycle we're so desperate to escape.
And this brings us to the biggest question of all. We tend to use these two ideas as if they're the same thing, don't we? We say, ugh, I need to get organized, when what we might actually be feeling is, I just need to be free from all this stuff. And as we're about to find out, those are two very, very different goals. I like to call this the organization trap. It's this loop we get stuck in, right? We feel totally overwhelmed by our things, and then we try to manage that feeling by buying more things to hold all of our other things. It's like a Band-Aid. It feels good for a second, but it really just distracts from the actual problem.
For me, this all became so clear one afternoon. All I wanted to do was something simple, fix a broken phone charger. But that's not what happened. The entire chunk of time I'd set aside to fix it was completely eaten up just by trying to find the thing. And where was it? Of course, it was buried under a pile of old magazines I hadn't even looked at in months. The frustration was, well, it was a lot. So my first reaction was probably the same one you'd have. I thought, okay, the problem isn't the stuff itself, it's that I don't have a good system. So I did what we're all told to do. I went out and I got the whole kit. The clear bins, the little dividers, even a label maker. I was so sure that I could build the perfect system to solve this problem for good. And you know, for a little while, it did feel better. Everything looked so neat. But it didn't take long before I was in the exact same spot. Now, the charger wasn't under a pile of magazines. It was at the bottom of a beautifully labeled bin, still broken, and still surrounded by a bunch of other junk I didn't read. The clutter wasn't gone. It was just in a prettier prison. And this is the absolute heart of it. Just look at this distinction. A system, it doesn't matter how amazing or perfect it is still about managing a burden. It's constant upkeep. But a choice, making one clear decision to let something go, that removes the burden completely. Poof. Suddenly, there's nothing left to manage. So here's the thing we have to understand. All this clutter, even when it's organized, it has a real cost. And it's not just about the physical space it takes up in our homes. It costs us our time, it costs us our money, and, as we're going to see, it quietly costs us our peace of mind. Now, this redefines the whole thing, doesn't it? What if organization isn't actually the solution, but it's really a symptom, a way to put off making a hard decision? Think about it. Every bin we buy for stuff we don't use is basically a nicely packaged way of saying, I just can't decide what to do with this right now. It's just avoidance. We all have these things, don't we? The infamous just-in-case items. For me, it was this one pair of pants. I held onto them for years, just sitting there in my closet like a silent little monument. And every time I saw them, I'd feel this tiny pang of guilt, or maybe hope. But mostly, they just took up space where clothes I actually love could have been. And I have a sneaking suspicion I'm not the only one. Okay, be honest. Do you have that one item, those pants, that dress, that you're holding on to just in case? If you do, just type guilty in the comments. I promise this is a judgment-free zone. We've all done it. And this is the perfect illustration of the real cost. Clutter isn't just a physical mess. It creates this visual noise that weighs on us without us even realizing it. It literally hides the things we already owned and actually want to use. It just suffocates all the good stuff, the clothes that make us feel amazing right now, under the weight of things we're only keeping out of habit or guilt. But here's the good news. Once you see the trap, you can find the way out. And the exit isn't through a bigger closet or buying more shelves. It's through something so much simpler and honestly so much more powerful. Just making a choice. So after my whole big experiment with the bins and the labels completely failed, I went back to square one. I just looked at that little pile of stuff, the broken charger that started this whole mess, and the magazines it was hiding under. Only this time, I didn't see a problem that needed organizing. I saw a decision that was waiting to be made. You know,
I'd spent so much time thinking about that charger and so much time looking for it that I realized I was never actually going to fix it. It was just an idea. So I picked it up and I threw it away. And the sound it made when it hit the bottom of the bin, it was incredible. It felt like relief, like I'd just set down a heavy backpack I didn't even know I was carrying.
And in that exact moment, something amazing happened. The room just felt quieter. Not quieter in sound, but in sight. That constant, low-level hum of visual distraction from that one little pile of clutter was just gone. And I could finally feel the peace in the space. It was such a profound discovery.
And you know what the best part is? You don't need to block off a whole weekend for this kind of change. It can be so much gentler. Just start with 1 hour. That's it. Pick one small corner, one junk drawer, one shelf, and just give yourself the permission to make a choice. To have the courage to say goodbye to what isn't serving you anymore.
And the benefits just ripple out from there. When you start making these choices, you're not just getting rid of things. You are making space for the life you actually want to live. You save so much precious time because you can finally find what you need. Your space stops being this storage unit you have to constantly manage, and it starts becoming a home that actually supports you.
And that's really the beautiful, simple truth at the heart of all this. It's not about some massive, stressful overhaul or building a perfect system. That quiet, peaceful home that you're dreaming of, it can all begin with one small, single choice. So I want to leave you with a question to just think about. Take a look around you right now. What is one thing, just one, that you are keeping not because you love it, not because you use it, but purely out of habit or maybe guilt? Because making a choice about that one thing, that might just be where your quiet peace begins.